Let's be direct, New York anglers. Chasing trophy bass is tough. The pursuit can feel endless, and the river often seems to hold its secrets close. Many days on the river end in frustration, with only small catches or empty hands. You might spend hours casting, only to come up short, wondering what you missed. It's easy to feel like big bass are ghosts, lurking out of sight, impossible to find. They slip through the shadows, hiding in places you'd never expect. But what if the river itself is giving you a sign, if you know how to read it? The water is always talking if you learn to listen. What if you could unlock the code, using nothing more than your own eyes? Imagine spotting the clues that others overlook and turning the odds in your favor. The key is simple: bubbles. These tiny signals are more important than most anglers realize. Those patches of froth, streaks of foam, and scattered bubbles drifting along the surface. They're not just random. They're nature's breadcrumbs, pointing you toward the action. Look closely. Every bubble tells a story, and trophy bass, giants hiding under the surface, leave a trail to follow. These bubbles often mark where currents meet, where food gathers, and where big fish wait in ambush. For too long, anglers have ignored these clues. They walk right past the signs, missing out on the river's best-kept secrets. They cast blindly, hoping luck will strike. But luck favors those who pay attention to the details. But what if you could spot the best base spots before you even pick up your rod? Imagine the confidence of knowing exactly where to cast. This isn't magic, it's observation. It's about reading the river like a map and letting the bubbles guide your next move. And in New York's diverse rivers, learning to read bubbles might be the smartest move you ever make. Each river tells a different story, but the language of bubbles is universal. So if you want to catch trophy bass, stop staring at your tackle box. Start watching the water. The answers are right in front of you, floating by on the current. Let's dive in and crack the river's code together. The secret is out there, if you know where to look. Most anglers think catching big bass is all about having the fanciest lure or the latest, most advanced gear. They spend hours researching tackle, swapping out rods and reels, and filling their boxes with every color and shape of lure they can find. Eager and excited, they rush to the river's edge, ready to cast their lines at the first promising spot. But in their hurry, they rarely pause to truly study the water in front of them. Here in New York, overlooking these details is a costly mistake that can mean the difference between a trophy catch and going home empty-handed. The river is always talking, sending out subtle signals and clues. The question is, are you really listening to what it's saying? Bubbles, foam, and surface lines drift by, often ignored by most anglers who don't realize their importance. Some see these features as just river noise, random patterns not worth a second glance, distractions from the real action. But these floating signs are actually the beginning of a hidden map, revealing where the river's energy and food are flowing. If you overlook them, you're essentially fishing blind, missing out on the river's best-kept secrets. Every bubble is a clue, a marker pointing to where the biggest bass are patiently waiting for their next meal. The problem is, most anglers treat all bubbles the same, never stopping to notice the subtle differences between them. They walk right past a patch of foam or a drifting bubble line, not realizing that these could mean the difference between a slow day and a record catch. That's why so many miss their chance, leaving the river frustrated and empty-handed. Trophy bass don't waste energy. They wait where food comes to them, often right under the bubbles, using the river's clues to their advantage. To catch more and bigger bass, you need to change how you see the river. Start reading the water, not just casting into it. The first step, learn the difference between dead foam and active bubbles. This simple skill can transform your fishing game and help you unlock the river's secrets. Let's clear up the confusion. Not all bubbles are created equal. Some signal life, others just old river scum. The smartest anglers know how to tell the difference in seconds. Dead foam is easy to spot. It's thick, dull, and clings to rocks or sticks in calm patches. It sits still, often yellowish or brown, and doesn't move with the current. This foam tells you one thing: here the water is still. Bass rarely feed below dead foam. There's not much food moving through, and the oxygen is low. Active bubbles, on the other hand, are alive. They're bright and white, quickly forming at the surface and drifting with the flow. These bubbles travel in lines or streaks. They move, break, and reform. Often, you find them where fast water meets slow water, a spot called a current seam. Here, the river is rich with food, and bass are almost always close by. If you want trophy bass, focus on active bubbles. Follow them, and you'll find the current seams where big fish wait for the next meal. Let's talk current seams. This is where two types of water meet, fast and slow. If you look at the surface, you'll often see a clear line where the water changes speed. This line is sometimes marked by a trail of active bubbles, foam, and debris. Why do bubbles collect here? Simple. The fast water carries food and oxygen. When it hits the slower water, the current drops, and bubbles drift along the seam. Bass know this is a food highway. Small fish, insects, and crustaceans get swept into these seams, making it a perfect hunting ground for big bass. Current seams are easy to spot if you look for bubble lines. They often run alongside rocks, down trees, or bends in the river. The seam itself is a moving conveyor belt, delivering dinner straight to waiting bass. This is where you want to fish. Every time you arrive at a river, scan for these bubble trails. They are the river's way of pointing you to the best strike zones for trophy bass. So not all bubble lines are equal. Each one tells a different story about what's happening beneath the surface. Some are thin and broken, almost like a trail that's been interrupted or scattered by obstacles below, while others are thick and continuous, stretching across the water like a highway for fish. The pattern, it really tells you what's happening below. It's like reading a secret code written on the water's surface. A steady, unbroken bubble trail often means there's a strong, steady flow. This flow carries food and oxygen, attracting all kinds of river life. And this is where bass set up shop, just waiting for food to come to them. They use the current to their advantage, conserving energy while staying ready to strike. Now, if you see bubbles breaking and swirling, forming little eddies, you gotta watch closely. These swirling patterns are clues to hidden action. These spots usually mark changes in depth or hidden underwater objects, like rocks, logs, or sudden drop-offs. Prime ambush spots for bass. They love to hide here, waiting for unsuspecting prey to drift by. When bubbles suddenly scatter or disappear, pay attention. It often means a fish just struck from below, breaking the surface and sending bubbles flying. These are hot zones, don't ignore them. Cast your lure right into the action for your best shot. Feeding bass actually create their own bubble signals. As they feed, they disturb the water and release bubbles, leaving behind a trail of activity. When a school is active, the water almost seems to come alive with movement and energy. You might see little bursts or sudden gaps in the bubble line, almost like the river is breathing. These show where bass are chasing bait, causing chaos and confusion among smaller fish. The best strike zones are just downstream of these gaps, where the current slows and bait fish are vulnerable. Here, bait fish are disoriented and easy to catch, making it the perfect spot for a hungry bass to ambush. So, think of bubble patterns as a living map. They're constantly changing, showing you where the action is right now. Read it right, and you'll know exactly where to drop your lure for a shot at a giant New York bass. Mastering this skill can turn an ordinary day on the river into an unforgettable fishing adventure. Once you've found the bubble seam, the job isn't over. The next step is to fish it without spooking the bass. Heavy lures or loud splashes can ruin your chance. Instead, go light. Use unweighted or lightly weighted soft plastics. Let them drift naturally in the current, just like the food bass expect. Match the speed of the bubbles. If the bubbles are moving slowly, let your lure drift at the same pace. If the seam is fast, keep your lure moving. Don't fight the current. Work with it. This looks the most real to a wary bass. They're used to food drifting along, not darting or dragging against the flow. Cast just upstream of the bubble line. Let your lure float down into the strike zone, following the same path as the bubbles. This keeps your presentation natural and increases your chances of a hit. With patience and the right technique, you'll be ready when that trophy base makes its move. Timing is everything. Early morning and late evening are best for chasing big bass in New York rivers. This is when the water cools down and the fish become most active. Cloudy days can also help, as the lower light makes bass less cautious. Watch the weather. After rain, rivers often run higher and faster, creating more bubbles and clearer seams. Bass feed hard in these conditions, taking advantage of new food washed into the river. But be careful. Too much muddy water can hide the bubble lines. When you're at the river, take your time. Watch the water for a few minutes before casting. Look for fresh bubble lines and spots where bubbles collect and break. These are your targets. Don't rush. Observation is your secret weapon. The more you see before you cast, the better your odds of landing a trophy fish. Even with the right spot and the right lure, you can lose your chance if you scare the fish. Bass are smart. They feel vibrations and see shadows. Stay low and move quietly along the bank. Don't make sudden movements. Avoid casting shadows over the bubble seam. Stand to the side or behind the sun, so your shadow never falls on the water where you plan to cast. This keeps you hidden from the wary eyes of big bass. Keep your line slack when you cast. Let your lure land softly. A loud splash can send fish fleeing. Remember, you're trying to blend in, not stand out. A little patience and smart positioning can be the difference between a missed chance and a monster catch. Now you know the secret language of the river. Those bubbles you used to ignore are now your best guide to trophy base in New York. Every patch of foam, every drifting line, is a clue waiting to be read. Don't rely on luck or fancy gear. Trust your eyes and your instincts. The river will show you where the giants hide, if you take the time to look. Study the bubbles, learn the seams, and match the current. Fish as if you're part of the river, not just a visitor. The next time you're on the water, pause before you cast, watch, think, then fish. Your next trophy bass might be right under the bubbles, waiting for you to crack the code.